Hi, this is Mark Henretti, and this is my review for the MK Blades Young Artist Showcase Challenge 1. It's a YAS world. And I'd first of all just like to thank MK Blades for supporting the event. MK has a factory near where I work in Sheffield, and they've supported me in my skating for a long time, and I'm just delighted that they're backing the Young Artist Showcase. And that also brings me to thanking all that are behind the Young Artist Showcase. It brought me an incredible amount of joy and pleasure last year when I competed, and for all the things that I've done in my skating, I think it's probably one of my best experiences, certainly my happiest experiences. So huge thanks to Audrey and Sheila and Doug and all those that are behind it. And I can only hope that those that I'm critiquing in this Champions Division have had or are enjoying as wonderful an experience as I did. For me to judge you has been far more challenging than to compete, and I don't really want to give marks to work that I know how much you have all put into it and how important this is to you all, and I hope that my humble opinion can just serve as something that will perhaps help in some way, shape or form in your future work. But there's certainly nothing but respect and admiration from me to all of you for what you've done and the creative side of skating which you're promoting in your involvement with this, which I think is just wonderful. So, with the critique in mind, I tried to think of 3 things that helped me to come to a star tally for each of you, something sort of tangible that I could grasp. And for me those 3 things were firstly just the enjoyment, how much I enjoyed the piece, void of over-analysis of its choreography merits, just how much I enjoyed it. I also tried to think about how appropriate it was to the brief that you were given, and finally how I would feel if it was my piece of choreography that I put forward, and that helped me to gauge a star tally a little bit easier. Just how would I feel if that was the piece that I had done, because obviously I was so intrinsically involved in that process that you're all going through last year. So with that in mind, I'm gonna come to some star tallies, so I'll come to that. I did find it hard to judge some of the dance styles that I wasn't necessarily familiar with, but I hope that obviously the better the choreography, presumably I would be able to appreciate the style of dance that you'd picked. As a generalisation, some of the camera and the sound quality I had to overlook because on occasion it made the viewing experience not quite as enjoyable, so perhaps generally that's something that some of you could look at for the future, because whilst that has no reflection on your choreography skills, the spectator's viewing pleasure is affected by obviously how good a quality of camera work or how good a quality of sound you had. So yeah, anyway, I'll crack on. So I'll start with Yevin, who's quite a beautiful skater, and I really look forward to seeing your future challenges as well. I just thought that the choice that you made was so super cool, like just so cool, and your introduction was fantastic, and when I was watching I really thought that I could imagine it performed at some arts festival or the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is a big cultural event held in capital Scotland every year. The work that you produced really made me think, and I didn't necessarily get it, but in many respects that made me admire it all the more because that was thought-provoking, and that's something that I am appreciative of, very much so. At times perhaps it wasn't particularly cohesive in terms of the relationship between the male soloist and the 4 ladies, but generally I just thought it was the coolest of cool pieces. The amount of work that you must have put into that was phenomenal, and that just excites me about what you're going to come up with over the next 4 challenges, so kudos to you, and I gave that 3.5 stars. Moving on to Nanoha. I loved your introductory quote. The dancers in that region, the ethnic dancers of that region, were too busy dancing to make trouble. And I thought, how lovely. I think I would like to be too busy dancing all the time to make trouble. I enjoyed the opening section of your piece, Nanoha. I thought it was tight. I thought it was well rehearsed, and I thought it was appropriate to the ethnic type of dance that you'd chosen. And then later on, I liked the section before the vocal kicked in, when the 4 female skaters were moving up ice. I thought again that was tight, and that was more in sync with the music that you had. Some of the sections in between were a little bit vague, and what I thought you tried to make it skate, which is good, obviously, because we're skaters, but perhaps some of the stylization was lost in translation of the skating. It became skating and not dancing, which I appreciate is a very hard challenge. But that's some parts of it were not as strong as the beginning, and certainly that section just before the vocal kicked in, which I particularly enjoyed. So for me then, in my humble opinion again, I think that you've got incredible potential as a choreographer, and in your future challenges, if you could keep it tight, it's going to be awesome throughout the whole piece. So I give it 2.5 stars. Moving on to Zabato, I thought it was professional, really well put together. I enjoyed it. If that was my brief as to what made me come to Star Tally, really enjoyed it. I thought it was musical, and I thought it was appropriate to the theme. I thought that was so cool about what you said about your dad, and I could really get that throughout the piece. So that was brilliant, and I just look forward to seeing you in other styles. I really appreciated your work that you did for the Quest for Creativity last year, and I just really look forward to seeing your future stuff. I gave that 4 stars. Moving on. Elliot. Hello Elliot. How you doing? So I thought this was really cool. There were some really clever quirks, some bits, little nuances in your movement, which took me by surprise, and I appreciated, and they just struck me, and I really enjoyed that. I love that it was pertinent to your life, Bogota. That was random and so cool. I thought the skating between you and your partner was so together. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Well done. I give that 4 stars. Moving on to Kate. Kate, really, okay. This was a tricky one, because of all the pieces, this is probably my most enjoyable piece, and it would probably be the style that I would pick, given the piece. It was certainly, to me, there are more stylizations within Argentine tango that I could pick up, and that I can easily register with. I know a gancho, and I love that there were so many of those within your piece. Lynn and Logan, you guys are just fantastic, and I love that you promote the Young Artist Showcase, because I know that you were involved last year as well. So hello, wow. The only issue that I had with this, I love that you put the Argentine tango pattern dance or compulsory dance into the piece, obviously appropriate insofar as it's an Argentine tango. When it then went off into do a little bit of the tango romantica pattern dance, I thought perhaps, and I've struggled with this a little bit, I've been thinking about it a lot, I thought perhaps then it was a little bit of filler, because you'd use the Argentine tango pattern and then it was a tango romantica, and I just thought perhaps it was a little bit of a filler. So that was my only downer on that, because like I said, I really, really loved the piece, but that maybe pulled me down a wee bit on the Star Tally. But yeah, I gave that 4.5 stars, so it's pretty good. Right, moving on to Justine. Loved the music. I thought it was very Israel Kamawakawoli. I thought that was cool. And I thought that this skated well whilst maintaining stylization. I thought this was, you managed to move across the ice without it being too skatery. And that was certainly very much appreciated by me, and I very much look forward to seeing what you've got in the next challenge as well. I give your piece 3 stars. Well done. Stephanie Roth, I thought your piece, well, I thought your skating's fab. You're obviously a very, very good skater, and your butterfly was super cool. It's very, very well done. I like the music. I like that you gone for this Aboriginal style. I just thought perhaps that I didn't get the crane searching for food necessarily in the piece. I liked what you went for, and so I enjoyed it. But in terms of how appropriate it was to the brief, I wouldn't have known out with the music what kind of style of dance that you were going for. But I certainly think that the quality of your skating makes me believe that you've got fantastic potential to produce brilliant work in the future. And I very much look forward to that, and I wish you all the very, very best for it. I give your piece 2 stars. Hockey dokie. Moving on to Catherine. Hello Catherine, how you doing? So with Catherine, I like the opening proverb that you put in. I like that you used skating without music at the opening, and that reminded me of your challenge, the first challenge I think that you did last year as well. I thought that was clever. And what I got with your piece, Catherine, was that I thought your skaters really got what you were going for, what you were aiming to do, and I think that's surely the makings of a really fantastic choreographer, that you can relate what you want, the emotion that you wanted in the skaters that skated your piece. I'm not sure that the movement was reflective of an African American spiritual dance, but certainly the emotion that you translated really read to me, and I like the mirror work that was used on occasion throughout, and I loved the finish, this kind of United Sisters finish. I thought that was really cool. So I give you 3.5 stars. So now, yeah, I think I've done it already. Tell you what, guys, this has been hard because you're all so good. That made it more challenging. But like I said, I respect all of you for all that you've done. I find it hard to critique you when I think you've done A, a fantastic job, and B, when you're doing something that I admire so much, and I can certainly see such hard work that had gone into what you've done, and I just really hope that you're enjoying this experience as much as I did. I look forward to watching all the future challenges, and if I can help in any other way, let me know. Anyway, peace out. Go to the Young Artist Showcase. Ciao, ciao.